A Sunflower State showdown. The Reivers venturing on their longest road trip of the regular season. Would the number one team in the country be bronc busted, or would the Reivers buck Garden City in the first ever meeting between the teams? We've got the highlights and more coming up next, right here on the Coach Stroh Show, only on CBTV 17. Halfway through the year already. Welcome to the midway point of the Coach Stroh Show season. Game number 6 comes to the Reivers wear number 1 next to their name for the first time since the 2012 year. I'm Jake Ryan, joined by the head coach of Iowa Western football, Mr. Scott Strohmeier. Well, Coach, you get into that game. How tough was it keeping your guys off the poll talk as the week went on, being number 1, a co-number 1 with East Mississippi?
Well, I mean, I know they were talking about it when it first came out, but you know, at the same time, I didn't hear much. You know, we addressed it, and we didn't really hear too much throughout the week. So, I mean, they know what they got to do. It doesn't. The poll means absolutely nothing if you don't go take care of business on Saturday. And you know, we were fortunate enough to play pretty well.
Well, longest road trip of the season. Let's see if it was a business trip, like so many teams like to say, or if it was going to be a little bit of a vacation for the Reivers. Let's take a look at those highlights. Reivers coming out. It's the pink out game for Garden City, and they had a couple of honorees during the coin flip, and the Reivers, one play an incompletion, second play of the game. Hey, how about this? Right down the inside seam to Taj Williams, and I don't think anybody's catching him, Coach.
No, that's a good way to start it. Second play, and knowing going in that we were maybe going to be able to have a shot at that, and we did. Ended up scoring.
Another very mobile quarterback, Denarius Graham, is the guy you guys go up against, and he was very elusive. This one in particular, as he slips out, looked like he was going to fall down, kept his balance, does end up going down for the quarterback sack, and the Reivers containing him early on.
We did. You know, he's going to make some plays, but we didn't give him the big runs. I think that was a big thing.
Jump off to Marshall Clark. That looked like the first play of the game, and now here we go again, this time again to the outside. Ronald Nash catches this one, forces it to the far side as the Reivers trying to drive on drive number 2 of the ball game.
Yeah, you know, we're getting it going, taking what they're giving us, and had a decent drive there.
That one again forced to punt it, or actually go for it on 4th down. Garden City gets the ball back, and how about that arm angle? Changes it, Denarius Graham does, and threads the needle right for a completion and a first down there for the Broncos.
Unorthodox there, but I'll tell you, he's a good player.
Unorthodox to say the least. This one a little bit more orthodox. Another completion as Garden City trying to move it down. Here he's going through his reads. You bring the pressure, but a little bit too much time to throw. Good news, though, your cornerbacks came up big on that one.
We did. We played pretty good on the back end, you know, staying home knowing that he's going to rush or try to scramble.
Another quick dump off to Taj Williams, trying to get things going underneath early on. Alex Reed on this catch.
Yeah, and you know, some of our quick screen game, we have to get that going. We're throwing it pretty decent down the field. That's unfortunate. I think that might have been 4th down as well.
Yeah, it was, and they can't come up with the INT, but they do take over on downs. Here again, Denarius Graham stepping out of pressure and somehow gets free enough to get it downfield. And one of their big receivers there, I believe that was the guy that was on their basketball team at one time.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, he keeps plays alive.
A shot put of a throw almost on that one. Now he'll get it out to a guy that you were trying to contain all day, Tony Snell.
And I think we did pretty well, a pretty decent job on him.
And here again, the Reivers just sneaking it out. They would go with the option look. Your linebackers, Jamie Thompson, the strong safety up. Here's Ismael Hernandez, a kicker that was only 1 of 3 on the year, and he knocks down his first one. And the score just 7-3 now.
Yeah, and it was good. It's come back, got Taj back making a play here to answer their score, which was good. You know, in 4 possessions, had 2 touchdowns and 2 4th downs, so we got stopped.
Well, you had 2 plays of 65 yards. That one again, and they both came after the kicker kicked the opener or the kickoff out of bounds. You get that procedure penalty, and you take over. So 2 65-yard touchdowns puts you up 14-3, and then you're into the second quarter trying to contain Denarius Graham again.
Yeah, I mean, and I think he ended with negative 11 yards rushing. I never would have guessed that during the game, but you know, some of those sacks our defensive line played.
He might have gone for over 1,000 this play.
Yeah, the way, if you count them sideline to sideline.
One of the rare runs on the day. Here's Anthony Anderson at the end of the run. Again, he tries to go up and over, and you're making a guy pay a little dinged up after that play. And here's Anthony again to the right side.
You know, it's good, and you know, we're getting things going a little bit in the run game, and you know, have some opportunities to get some big plays.
Alex Reed, speaking of big plays, sneaks behind the secondary, wide open for the touchdown. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Well, you know, and what they were doing coverage-wise, and you know, Alex just really had to get over the top of them, and he had good protection. They made the throw and was able to get a big one.
Now, bumped a little bit as he throws that ball. Marcus Montgomery comes down with the INT. That one really up for a trio of Reivers, and you get a pretty good return. A little bit negated, but you'll take over at their 38.
Yeah, again, and these are big ones that we gotta respond to, and our defense is giving us good field position.
Ronald Nash on the underneath pass. Lorenzo Pratt will take this ball and, you know, kind of running downhill already as he took the ball, loses it, but an unfortunate play there as Lorenzo looked like he was going, but just popped on the elbow there and it bumps the ball out.
Yeah, you know, when he cut it back, and you know, we probably should have had that corner blocked. We blocked the wrong guy in the perimeter, but we should have had him blocked, and maybe we wouldn't have fumbled it.
Another unbelievable run there by Graham, sidestepping 3 would-be tacklers and then going down on his own.
He's just baiting in there. That's tough. I mean, we're telling these guys to go hard and get to the quarterback, but they know that he's just waiting for him and he's going to spin out of it.
One of his favorite recipients there was the running back Andre Williams, another pass down the sideline. And they do turn the ball over again. They couldn't really find pay dirt, but certainly kept the plays alive a long time. Speaking of keeping the plays alive, how about Tate Bender on this run?
Yeah, that's a good one. You know, it was right before half, and getting an opportunity here to get another one. And
great looking pass to the backside of the end zone to Andrew Davis, as the cornerback wanted a little bit of a push off there, it looks like.
Yeah, I think all those defensive backs, when they get a touchdown on them, they think it's a push off.
Throw down, and this is another deep one up for grabs. This one, no contact made as he throws it. Jamie Thompson comes down with it. You go into the halftime break up 28-3, and you're feeling pretty good about things. So looked like appeared at least like a complete first half. We'll grab the coach's assessment and get those second half highlights when we come back. There's more from Garden City and Iowa Western when we return on the Coach Stroh Show. The Iowa Western Football Coaches Show is right here on CBTV 17.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Back for another segment of this week's Coach Stroh Show. Jake Ryan along with the head coach, Scott Strohmeier. Well, Coach, you go into the break up 28-3. I thought aside from a couple drives that you stalled out on, it was a pretty darn good half, both offensively and defensively. What was your assessment of the first half of play between you and Garden City?
I mean, I would agree. I felt, you know, coming into the game, we had to contain them, and their quarterback, and the defense did a heck of a job. Even though he got some plays and got out of the pocket, you know, we pretty much kept him in check with only a field goal. Offensively, you know, there was a couple drives there that maybe, you know, you wish that you'd execute on those, but at the same time, you know, you got 4 possessions where you score, and you're 28-3. That's not bad either. Yeah,
2 of those possessions you score on just 1 play. Well, let's take a look at the second half highlights. We head to the third quarter. Reivers up 28-3. A couple of interceptions already in the bag for the dark side, which put them at 17 on the season. And they'll start off on the ground game. It'll be Andre Williams getting a pretty good gain against the Reiver defense.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure they did some things at halftime, and trying to assess how they can attack us. And that's one where maybe we fell asleep a little bit, and they got a big play there. They're coming out the second half. You got to step up here and make a play.
Converts a big first down. They'll throw it to the outside. Looks like maybe we'll get inside the 10. They do. And so a 1st and goal, and you're thinking, oh boy, here comes Garden City. And guess what? Here comes the dark side. The defense really getting in. And did they find a pattern on Denarius Graham? It seemed he was sidestepping tacklers in the first half, but they figured him out a lot in the second half.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, I think as you see a guy like that all the time, you're going to learn some things as well about him and what he likes to do. But the big thing is you just got to keep your motor going, and you know, the guys came out and did that.
So you get the turnover as they had a first and goal. They end up back at like the 42-yard line. Punt it away, you go 3 and out, and then it gives Garden City another opportunity and another long pass from Graham, and this time to the Jade Cathy, the guy that had been on the Garden City basketball team, so you know he can jump.
Yeah, he is. He's big and tall, and he can get up there. And defensively, come up with a big one there again, you know. And Justin Van Houten made a nice play.
So the defensive line forces another turnover. Here's Tay Bender again on the carry, and he did a nice job out of the backfield. You guys didn't run a too terribly lot, but when you did, it was very effective, it seemed.
It was, and you know, part of it's we knew we could get some things in the pass game, and we're throwing it down the field a little bit. And we're thinking we were going to get this quick stuff. We had to do a better job on the perimeter blocking, but it was good to be up to get some big plays.
That ball thrown behind Alex Reed. A little miscommunication between the quarterback and his receiver.
Yeah, it was a hot route, and we had a missed adjustment. A blitz comes, he's unblocked, and we got to break a route off, and we didn't see it.
So again, they continue, and they thought they had an INT there, but another drop pass to get another chance at it to the 50, and a timeout taken. It seemed like there was several timeouts taken during the game at odd times.
Yeah, well, one of them towards the end, I was just trying to make sure and keep our guys from any extracurricular. It was getting a little bit chippy, I guess, to say, and from their guys, and I just wanted to make sure our guys understand that. Make a decision that would jeopardize. We're playing for a lot, and they might not be.
Alex Reed finds himself wide open again as Tay throws a great ball into the sophomore wide receiver.
It was good. We came out. We needed another big one, but we got to sustain some drives. We got a lot of one-play, two-play drives for touchdowns. Not complaining about those, but we got to sustain some.
And here's Brady Bean, the fullback for Garden City, making his first pass reception of the year. And again, that sidearm slinger as Denarius Graham just keeps chucking it in there. Yeah. This one he chucks right to Kelvin Rainey. I mean, literally right to him. Rainey just reached up and takes it the other way. Smartly goes out of bounds, and the Reivers take over.
Well, we felt if we could contain him within the pocket that he was going to make some bad decisions, and it came through.
Here's a play that Garden City got a little bit excited on. Ends up getting one of their players ejected. Another player gets an unsportsmanlike penalty for the excessive celebration.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I stress to our guys, you make a big play, you celebrate it with the team and not individually.
Zach Martin throwing to Andrew Davis there. The Reivers end up going for a field goal. Danny Hamilton knocks this one down. By the way, Garden City, pretty nice facility.
It was. I didn't know this is the first year. A nice little setup to have.
So Graham and his team buried right now, 38-3, and this late in the game, he's still making people miss. This time he runs all the way back into the end zone and comes out. Will he throw a dart here, or will he ends up keeping it this time? And still, guess what he gained? Nothing on the play. Yeah. Unbelievable that he ran that much and didn't see any positive yards out of it.
I know, and sometimes you see him running around, you're like, oh my gosh, and but then I looked after the play and I'm like, he didn't even gain any yards. Yeah.
Zach Martin to Tyler Lloyd there. Good thing that Zach got a lot of playing time. In fact, here he gets his first touchdown ever as a Reiver on the 6-yard quarterback keeper. Just to fake the handoff, and the defense bit on that one, and he goes in left untouched. Pretty good feeling for Zach, I'm sure, to get that first score.
Yeah, and I mean it's good to get him some plays in there too, and we feel confident if he goes into the game, our game plan doesn't change. He knows our stuff pretty well, and it was good to see him get some throws and still run it again.
Well, it seemed like he got a few more consistent throws. He's been in the past few games, but after going 3 for 3 in his first action against Coffeyville, he didn't seem to be hitting those receivers as well as he did that first game, but a little bit more confidence for Zach. Tay had an excellent game, record-tying 5 touchdowns in the process, and Zach having a pretty good game. He got to play much of the fourth quarter.
Well, and it's like I said, you got to have in this league, and you got to have 2 guys ready to go, and Zach's earned himself opportunities to get in there and throw the ball, and that's why I wanted to get him in there early enough so we could still throw it, not like we're trying to run the score up, but you got to have your guy ready to go, and he had a good performance.
So you guys take a day off basically from the passing or from the rushing game and go big on the passing game. 2 receivers over 100 yards, 5 touchdowns for Tay Bender. Zach Martin adds the last on that quarterback keeper, and overall pretty good game. 6-0, Coach. What do you think so far through 6 games?
Well, it's nice to be 6-0 for sure. If you can pick it after 6, we're making some progress. I don't think we've played our best across the board. We've played really good at times on both sides and special teams. It hasn't necessarily hit all 3 at the same time. I don't know if, I think every coach wants that to happen, but at the same time, if you need one side to pick up the other sometimes, and but we're making progress, and a lot of guys got a lot of playing time this week. We had some guys with some injuries that other guys had to step in and move some guys out of position. So I was really proud of the guys, the way we came off the long road trip with some not regular starters and be able to perform.
Well, they get the win. Maybe not a perfect game. Save the perfect game for December 7th, all right, when you're 11-0 looking for number 12.
All right, we'll do.
When we come back, Travis Jacobson will sit down with a record-setting performer from Saturday's blowout win. Back in a moment with quarterback Tay Bender. The Stroh Show continues next, right after this on CBTV 17.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
The Coach Stroh Show continues here on CBTV 17. I'm IWTV student Travis Jacobson, joined by sophomore quarterback Tay Bender. Tay, congratulations on the win, first of all, and thanks for joining us today on the set.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You threw for 293 yards, including a record-tying 5 touchdowns. The offense just kind of seemed to be clicking, especially with you finding open receivers.
It was a pretty good week of practice. Probably one of the better weeks of practice we've had so far this season. Coach, stressed a lot about getting the receivers together after practice and, throwing the extra routes and a lot of the looks that we wanted to see against Garden City. We did that, and in favor, we played well. The 5 touchdowns, I was surprised at the end of the game. During the game, I'm not keeping count. But, the credit doesn't all go to me. My lineman did a great job with protection, and my receiver corps did an amazing job as well. So, it was great that I got it to them, but, they did the rest, and I'm proud of them.
Well, speaking of the receiving corps, the first 2 plays of the game, you find Taj Williams for a 65-yard touchdown, and then on the second drive of the game, first play, another 65-yard touchdown. Taj actually said that he was the third option on that first touchdown there.
Yeah, it was one of those, during practice, sometimes we don't always get to the last check down because, the first 2 reads are either the ones that we're looking at or we have it set up that way. But, he stuck to his keys and kept running across the field, and, for some reason I was like, hey, think check down. And I looked back across the field, and he's wide open, and he did the rest.
Jake Ryan, the voice of the Reivers, one of his favorite calls now has been Tay to Taj. You found Taj for 8 touchdowns so far this season. Have you guys kind of developed a little bit of a chemistry between you two?
Oh yeah, of course. And I've Taj. A lot of our with just practices. We're with each other a lot of the time. But overall, I got a great relationship. I feel with all my receivers. Taj is great. He's probably got most of the numbers. But with him, getting him open, the others have to do their routes as well. And overall, the receivers are just outstanding. So I'm very blessed to be having.
Well, with another couple more performances like you did against Garden City, you'd be in 3rd place for the all-time passing yards behind Connor Brevard and Jake Waters. What does that kind of mean to you with those kind of names up there? I
know Jake Waters is a great quarterback and is at Kansas State. Connor Brevard, I was with him last year. He's at Troy. It feels good, but at the same time, I'm not into all the stats. I'm playing the game because I love the game, and it's not just me that makes them; it's my teammates as well. And as long as we can all keep clicking and keep doing what we're doing with practice and off the field, anything can happen.
Speaking of Brevard, you were here last year when he was a starter. Did you kind of learn anything under his performances and his tutelage, kind of, so to speak, from last year and to bring it to this year?
Yeah, most definitely. Whenever you take a backup seat and you have somebody in front of you, you can, there's 2 options. You can take advantage of it, or you can hang your head and give up, in a sense. But Connor was a great quarterback. I learned a lot from him. Just the little things, and I've taken it to advantage this year. And just now, I can never stop learning. I'm not where I want to be. I still have strides to make, and with keep practicing day and out, hopefully I can fill the blanks.
And one of those strides that our color commentator Russ Nelson has kind of seen this to start the season is you making good decisions coming out of the pocket. Maybe the play isn't developing the way that you would like, and you're throwing that ball away instead of maybe trying to tuck it and run, trying to do too much.
Yeah, last year, I was still. I needed to return a little bit more on the field with experience. I needed more experience, and I was coming out of high school, and really haven't had much of the college feel. And with this year, it seems the game slowed down a little bit, but overall, if it was me last year to this year, some of the passes where I would have forced it, I'm throwing the ball away or, trying to get the yards that I can. Now,
you're one of the team captains on this year's team. How have you developed into that leadership role for these younger guys?
It's leading by example. You can make touchdowns, but it's what you do off the field that a lot of people don't see, and a lot of the teammates see as well. It's just going to class, not missing meetings, being early to practice, and also to meetings as well, and not giving the coaches anything to talk bad about.
Sure.
A lot of people don't understand that a lot of the things that you do are seen when you think nobody's watching, and I believe in that, and that's what I stick to.
Yeah, it's definitely the social media aspect of that can be kind of a distraction if you don't know how to use it sometimes.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Second half of the season, you guys are 6-0. Kind of taking it down the home stretch, how do you guys maintain your focus for the next 5 games?
I like to put it just never being satisfied. We had a big win last week, and now it's Independence. Whether the record is 0-6, they haven't won a game at all. Who's to say they might not play the best game they've ever played all season? We still got to prepare for them like we would for any other game this season. We're 6-0, and in order to be undefeated and have a perfect season, we can't stop now. The season's not over until it's over.
Right, absolutely. This is your sophomore season here, so next year you'll be somewhere else. Do you have a plan of where you want to take your talents to on the next level?
To be completely honest, I'm not worried about that right now. I came here to get an education, get an associate's, and play ball. And right now, that's my main topics, and the only thing that I'm, my main focus. Like I said, the season's not over yet. And, that'll be taken care of when it's taken care of.
You grew up in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yes, sir.
And why did you choose Iowa Western, besides maybe just proximity?
I heard, about the football program and, looking at, just getting here, Coach Stroh was great. Coaching staff was great. And, I just felt like, this is a good place to get my feet back in the water. And it's definitely been a blessing being here. And like I said, 2 years ago today, I would have never thought I'd be where I am now.
Well, Tay, congratulations once again on a great game. We'll look forward to seeing what you can do against Independence.
Thank you.
So appreciate you coming on the show. There's sophomore quarterback Tay Bender. Coming up after the break, Jake Ryan and the coach will be back to talk about this week's Pirate Showdown under the lights. We'll be right back.
I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
We're back to wrap things up here on the Coach Stroh Show on CBTV Channel 17. Well, Coach, 6 weeks through the schedule, 5 more games on that regular season slate, and then, of course, the NJCAA Bowl game, which you hope that you're eligible for. By default, are you into the Graphic Edge Bowl already, even the second game? Or do you have to beat? I
don't even know, because I guess it'll come down to the head-to-head of all 3 of us. But if
so you're looking pretty good right now for at least.
If Iowa Central beats Ellsworth, I would think that we're automatically in.
Okay.
That
works then. So
we'll
maybe 6 more games on the schedule then. Not for sure, but we're feeling pretty good about it.
We should be in. We should have 6, unless some disastrous happens. But we should be in for 6.
Okay, well, let's make sure that doesn't happen. All right, you keep to coaching, and we'll keep to calling the wins. All right. All right. So you look at that schedule. Independence, a 7:00 game. Why the late game on the road?
They always play late games. That's what they've done in the past, and they didn't want to switch. And I guess so. We're going to travel down there and play a late one and travel back.
Okay. Will you guys go down on Friday, or will you travel on Saturday?
We'll go down Friday still, just so we can get down there and kind of get situated. We're staying not right in Independence. I think we're staying in Coffeyville, and then we'll drive up, that morning. So, it's not maybe ideal. You got to sit around all day Saturday, but at the same time, when you travel that distance and you got to get off a bus and go play a game, it's almost unrealistic to have them go out there and perform.
Walk through at Arrowhead Stadium?
I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, that does it for another. Do you know anything about Independence? I mean, what can you tell us? You always say, well, we don't really look at it, but what do you know so far about the Pirates?
To be honest with you, just of what we've watched in the last couple of days.
Hold on, let me guess. A very mobile quarterback.
Actually, no.
Oh,
not this week.
All right. I thought I guessed. I guessed wrong.
This one, he's not. He's a pocket guy. I mean, they do a lot of similar stuff that we do offensively in some of their quick passing game. They got a pretty good tailback. I mean, I watched them in week 1 when we were preparing for Butler. He had a good game against Butler, but I haven't really seen him since then. And defensively, you know, they're fairly based on what they do. They don't try to do too much. So, you know, for us, it's really trying to fine-tune some things that we need to do offensively, and see if we can't start putting in some different things and some different looks and running the same. It's kind of like the window dressing. We're going to run the same stuff, but try to get in some different formations and things that we haven't shown before, in just hopes of our future opponents that they got to spend time and prepare for it.
Well, we know they're 0-6, but they did give Butler all they could handle in game number 1, and they played all right in the other games. They just haven't come up in the win column yet. Do you make the guys watch that Butler game and say, hey, this is what can happen? I mean, Butler was a blocked field goal away from being down in that game late in the third quarter.
I know, and we will. You know, we'll watch that, and that's really what I reiterate to them. Obviously, you can look at their record and you can say, oh, you know, we're 6-0, they're 0-6. We beat these guys this bad, and they got beat that bad, but. You know, hopefully our guys learned their lesson a couple weeks ago that you can't do that. And at the same time, again, our whole approach is improve on the things that we do. It doesn't matter who we line up against. If we can execute, we're going to be fine and improve, because we're nowhere near where we need to be yet either. So regardless of who we play, let's just go out there and try to get better.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck on Saturday. Hopefully we'll be calling win number 7.
That'd be
which,
good.
Ironically enough, is a 7 o'clock game. That wraps up this week's edition of the Coach Stroh Show. Saturday's broadcast on 89.7 The River and 89.7theriver.com begins at 6 o'clock with the pregame. Kickoff at 7 from Independence, Kansas. If you're at a wedding reception or your significant other, if they're going to a class reunion, you can get those score updates on Twitter. Just don't get in trouble with your SO. We don't want to be blamed for that, okay? Follow the Reivers on Twitter @GoReivers. Check out the Reivers live on ihigh.com/IWCC. Remember to provide us with some witty comments and some on your tweets. We'll try to work them into the broadcast as we go. We'll have a little fun with it as well. Another one in the books, and big thanks again to everyone involved in this week's Stroh Show. Head coach Scott Strohmeier, sophomore quarterback Tay Bender as well, and of course our great IWTV crew under the direction today of Craig Carlson for putting the show together. And as always, to you for tuning into CBTV Channel 17. I'm Jake Ryan signing off. Catch the highlights of all the Reiver games on the Bluff Sports Zone. We'll talk with you Saturday night. And until next week, wear blue, be loud, and go Reivers.
This one is a long one, complete at the 40, and all the way to the end zone goes Todd Williams. There's that 80-yard pass. That one's going to be intercepted. He makes the catch at the 10. Touchdown, Iowa Western. Into the hands of the waiting receiver. Low line drive. Honor will catch it over his shoulder at the 44-yard line. Honor crosses the back line. That one intercepted by Kelvin Rainey. Montgomery does. The Reivers have got the INT. Montgomery gets the block right down. Still on his feet. And they'll get to the outside. He's trying to get to him. And finally Bryson McCabe. Going to the end zone. There's your fade. And that one's complete. Touchdown, Andrew Davis. They buy enough time on the first down. Third down and 9. Screen pass to Andre Williams down the sideline. Reivers trying to hold him up. They don't know it's a keeper by Bender. He'll run down the left sideline. Right in front. He's forced back all the way to the end zone. And now a wide open Brady being the fullback. Alex Reed has got to score. One play, touchdown. Zach Martin, quarterback keeper, faked the give to Hillier. He went right. Snap. Barely made it to the air as Graham gets it into the belly of his tail. It'll be a pass, Tay Bender out to Todd Williams. Great block on the edge by Ronald Nash, and a touchdown again as Todd Williams.